I never expected a classic Sonic game to be divisive, but here we are with Sonic Superstars. Depending on who you ask, one person might really enjoy this game, and someone else might dislike it. Don't get me wrong, it's far from the most controversial Sonic game, but it's still surprising to me since classic Sonic titles are generally very consistent in quality. All this begs the question of if I enjoyed Superstars or not. The answer is mostly yes, but it has big problems I can't ignore. After Sonic Mania was released, everyone was excited about Whitehead's team making a sequel that could have more of its own identity. This was the plan at first, but things sadly didn't work out, so the Mania devs left the project to create their own game, Penny's Big Breakaway, that I would recommend playing if you like platformers. It's a good time. During the COVID pandemic in Japan, Sonic's team head Takashi Iizuka and Sonic's co-creator Naoto Oshima played a drinking game on Zoom for fun. While they were doing this, they talked about how they wanted to make a 2D Sonic game together, and that's how Sonic Superstars was born. It was mainly developed by Arzest, a company Oshima founded since leaving Sega decades ago. Sonic Team and Iizuka were also involved in the process. Oshima hasn't worked on a main game in the series since Sonic Adventure, so I think it's awesome he was able to come back to the massive franchise he created 3 decades ago. Superstars was announced in the summer of 2023, and I was really excited for it. Sonic Mania came out 6 years ago, and I had been waiting for a sequel for so long, I figured it wasn't happening. But here it was, as bright as day. And it was going to be an original adventure with classic Sonic that looked really good. A fun promo video was released that I enjoyed, and when I went to the Sonic Symphony in LA that year, they actually played the game's opening like a month early for those in attendance, which was awesome. And this was the same weekend where the Sonic Frontiers DLC came out, so it was a really exciting time for me to be a Sonic fan. Then I played the game and I thought it was great. But since then, my opinion has worsened. Dr. Eggman has traveled to the North Star Islands to turn its animals into badniks, and he wants to conquer the world. His new plan is to try and harness the power of a black dragon he discovered in an ancient mural. He has hired Fang the Sniper from Sonic Triple Trouble to aid him in his plans, and they are joined by Trip, an island inhabitant. Sonic and his friends travel to the island to stop the trio. During the adventure, we see Fang treat Trip like utter garbage when things aren't going his way. Amy discovers Trip crying by herself after one of these events and helps her out. Soon after, Fang's luck changes when he's able to steal the Chaos Emeralds because Knuckles is an idiot who just drops them on the ground to gloat. After Fang is defeated, he drops the emeralds and Trip tells him to stop, but Fang continues to be a jerk. In an awesome moment, Trip takes off her helmet to fight back and the emeralds gravitate towards her, turning her into a dragon who beats Fang as he tries to get away. Amy introduces Trip to everyone and they become friends. The group follows Eggman to space and defeats him. They return to the planet, happy that they've saved the North Star Islands. But we're not done yet, because Trip is a playable character with her own campaign, where she chases after an egg robo, like Knuckles' story in Sonic 3 and K. At the end, she fights Fang in his mech and stops him. Now with both campaigns cleared, the last story unlocks, where the Black Dragon appears, and Sonic goes super to fight it, with his friends helping him along the way. Eventually, Trip uses a gemstone to seal away the dragon, and now the day is saved. The plot is a bit more complicated, but it's still a simple story. What I really liked here were all the character interactions. I think Trip is adorable, and watching her become one of the good guys was great. It was also awesome to see Fang return, since I really like his character and how mean he is. Superstars plays very closely to Mania. The physics and characters handle basically the same as before, with some slight differences you get used to quickly. For example, I think Tails moves faster in the air, and Knuckles is a bit slower when he attaches to a wall. Amy is the most improved character in the game. Like Origins, she can still attack enemies on the ground and in the air with her hammer, but she now has access to a double jump that's great for platforming sections. Sonic feels identical to before, and I'm really grateful the drop dash is still a strong movement option, since I didn't like how it felt in Origins. I gotta give Arzest props for matching the great control of the previous games almost perfectly. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy are the playable characters in this game, but they don't have their own playthroughs. When you beat an act in Superstars, you have the option to play the next level or return to a hub road, and it's here where you can swap between the 4 characters. I really enjoy this feature because it gives the game more variety. As someone who's been playing classic Sonic games for most of my life, I always thought it'd be cool to have one playthrough where I was able to use both Sonic and Knuckles, for example, and now I can do that. This also adds a level of strategy in who you play as. Sky Temple Zone has a difficult boss at the end that's easier with Tails because he can fly to hit Eggman from below. So before the stage, I can change to him in the hub road to give myself an easier time. And every character has their own exclusive act, so you'll get to play as all of them during the campaign. The main innovation in Superstars are the Emerald powers. You obtain these after getting a Chaos Emerald and can select them from a menu. These operate on a timer, and once it runs out, you can't use them again until you reach a checkpoint that replenishes them. The emerald powers replace the elemental shields, but they're even better. One can slow down time, another creates a vine you can use to ascend, there's a water one that lets you breathe and swim underwater. They're all helpful. Easily the best ones are the first two you receive. Avatar spawns a bunch of clones that run around the screen and can break certain boss fights if you know the best time to use it. And Bullet turns your character into a fireball that basically has infinite jumps and can be fired in any direction. This one has a lot of utility for traversing stages and was easily the power I used the most. I like this new system because the powers are fun to use and the game is well designed around them. Sometimes in levels they even hint you should use this specific ability here to get a collectible. It also makes sense because we're always told how strong the Chaos Emeralds are, but they never help the player until you have all 7 of them and can activate your super form. The special stages are still hidden in every level, but now you can only obtain 1 emerald per zone. Every subsequent giant ring you find will be blue and won't reward you with an emerald. I'm fine with this change since it would be unbalanced to have the super forms and all the powers very early. And there are so many chances to obtain the emeralds in this game, plus with the new hub road, you can backtrack through levels if you don't have all the emeralds before you beat the game. By the way, I love how interconnected the small hub road is. It's cute. In the special stages, you chase after the Chaos Emerald by homing in on objects like blue spears and rings, and then swinging around the area. If you run out of time or fall into the abyss, you lose. I don't love these like the previous special stages, but I still had fun with them. What I don't like is it's hard to predict where the emerald is gonna go, so I feel like I need to guess right to win. Whereas in the past games whenever I lost, it was because I made a mistake. These are tough stages, but they're not as extreme as the ones in Mania's Encore mode, and at least you get rewarded with an emerald power for beating each of them. The levels were what I was most excited for in Superstars. The most recent Sonic games have all recycled past stages, and it was becoming a problem. But all the zones in Superstars are brand new, and they're pretty good. You got your speed, your multiple pathways, your exploration, it's all there. And I enjoy the new gimmicks in the zones, such as these vines in Speed Jungle you can grind on, going on a roller coaster in Pinball Carnival, or getting pixelized into animals in Cyber Station. My favorite zones are probably Bridge Island and Golden Capital. There are some I'm not the biggest fan of, like Sky Temple and Sang Sanctuary can be annoying, but overall these are fun to play through. The bonus stages are modeled after the Sonic 1 special stages. They control much better, but I'm still not a fan of these, so I mostly skip playing them. There are some new collectibles in the levels. You can get fruit that unlocks a fruit act in certain zones. Here you play a decent minigame, and beating it gives you the other collectible, the gold medals. You can find these everywhere, in the stages, certain enemies, getting 100 rings in an act, and the blue ring special stages. The medals can be used in a shop, where you customize a medal fighter. These are mainly for the battle mode, but you do fight the one you created at the end of Cyber Station, which is neat. The battle mode is fine. You play some minigames that are kinda like the game Fall Guys. I didn't have people to record with, so I just played by myself, and it was a decent distraction. But I'm not sure why you wouldn't play Mario Party instead. While we're on the topic, this game was sold on its multiplayer, where 4 people can play through the story mode together, like a modern 2D Mario game. I also couldn't try this, but I've heard it's not great, because it's difficult for the game to keep 4 fast characters on screen together the whole time. So the multiplayer and battle mode weren't for me, and that meant I wasn't invested in getting medals to customize my medal fighter. Oh well. The DLC and Superstars are skins for the playable characters, and I thought this was really cool. There's one where Sonic gets his original rabbit design, a Shadow costume, and my personal favorite, the LEGO versions. I'm always happy when games let me customize my character, and I hope we see more of this in the future. Superstars uses 3D graphics that look great. Every character has been translated well into 3D, and the charm wasn't lost. I personally would have preferred one more game that looked like Mania, but I'm happy with what we got. I wish I could be more positive about the soundtrack. It's good but not amazing. I don't think the songs are that catchy, which is shocking to me because even bad Sonic games have stellar music. I've heard other people really like this soundtrack, so maybe my opinion is just an outlier, but that's how I felt. I'm sad to say that I have some significant complaints with this game we need to discuss. First of all, I ran into some technical problems when I was recording on my PC. Every level would randomly freeze for a bit, and nothing I tried in-game or with my graphics card could change this. I thought it might be my computer getting older, but I have much more than the recommended specs, and I can play more advanced games like Shadow Generations and Resident Evil 4 completely fine on it. So I decided to record the game on my PS5 instead, but even that version lags during the loading screens, and it was really distracting. Superstars has big issues with its pacing. The zones are noticeably lengthier, and I find myself getting tired by the end of them. I don't think this is a problem by itself, but what compounds the issue are the boss fights. They take so much longer to complete than before because they have lengthier animations and you can only hit them at certain times. I understand this was probably changed, so you can't kill them in 10 seconds in the multiplayer, but it drags out the extended stages even more. At first I didn't mind these fights, because if you use the avatar or other emerald powers, you can still defeat some of them in like 30 seconds. But then there's fights like against Fang, which is a 2-minute long auto-scroller. If you die once, you have to replay the boring fight again, and it's incredibly tedious. What made matters worse was when I played Trip's story. This sucked. It's basically the hard mode, where the level design is slightly more annoying, and the bosses have much more health. So now even with optimal use of your emerald powers, the boss fights drag out the levels for longer than they have any right to. And it's the exact same game, except with Trip. And Trip's cool. She's a hybrid between Amy and Knuckles because she can double jump and spin up walls. But it's irritating to replay the same lengthy campaign again. If you're wondering why I didn't skip this mode I don't like, it's because you have to beat both campaigns to unlock the last story. It's the same problem as Sonic Heroes 19 years later. Come on guys, just give us the last story if you get all the Chaos Emeralds and beat the game. One campaign already takes 4 hours. You can sell short Sonic games for full price. It's fine if they're good. And making me play this mode just lowers my opinion of the overall game. Let's discuss the last levels. The boss fights get harder, like the one in Cyber Station, and the mini-boss in Frozen Base. Oh my god, this battle is awful with Trip, because if you get hit once, you instantly lose. I like the Act 2 of this zone at least, where you're in a shoot-'em-up in the Eggmobile. Egg Fortress is a very annoying final stage that gets even worse in the second act, where Eggman reverses time, and you play the same level in reverse. Factor in Trip's story, and I played one act 4 times. This game is so lazy. The final battle against Eggman is pretty tough. You have to hit him 12 times, and he has a lot of different attacks that are really scary. Thankfully, I got good at this fight from my multiple playthroughs of this game in 2023, so I was able to win on my first attempt here. I cannot say the same for Trip's final boss against Fang. Oh my god, I hate this fight. It takes 6 whole minutes, and Fang has so many attacks that can instantly kill you. I was getting really upset playing this. I have so much footage of me repeatedly dying here, including at the tail end of the fight. It might be the single hardest boss battle I've ever played in a Sonic game. I think the devs got too excited when they removed lives from this game. I can't even imagine playing this fight if you're like 8 years old. I would probably rage quit. The Supersonic battle in the last story is also irritating because the rings randomly spawn, so victory feels very luck dependent. And the fight takes 7 whole minutes for no reason except to waste my time. But with one last hit, the dragon goes down and it's over. So that was Sonic Superstars. As you can see, it's a game I don't view as highly as others we've discussed. I enjoyed my playthrough and the new ideas introduced, like being able to change characters and the emerald powers. However, the pacing, boss fights, and Trip's recycled story being mandatory stopped the game from being great in my opinion. I think in 2023, I was too excited about a new classic Sonic game, so I overlooked the game's biggest flaws. It's unfortunate because I can see a lot of the effort and dedication here with the new zones, recreating the physics from Mania, Easter eggs, and the overall charm. It's still a good game, but with some small tweaks, it could have been really special. Sadly, Superstars was seen as a failure by Sega because of lackluster sales. I think there are multiple reasons why this game underperformed. Number 1, it came out the same week as Mario Wonder, which is another multiplayer platformer that appeals to the same audience as Superstars. Factor in Mario being the most popular gaming franchise, and Wonder being a phenomenal game, and it's easy to see why Superstars failed. Number 2, the price. This game probably should have been $40. I personally don't mind paying full price for Sonic games because I know I'll be replaying them multiple times. But I think it's difficult to convince people to buy a short 2D platformer for full price in the current gaming landscape. And number 3, they didn't bring back Bark the Polar Bear. What is wrong with you people? And with that, we are officially done with the classic Sonic series retrospective. I had a great time replaying these games and discussing why I enjoyed them so much. The awesome thing about these reviews is I'm able to understand my own feelings better by writing and talking about them. I don't think I could describe why I love Sonic CD so much before this retrospective. Classic Sonic is the main reason I'm a massive fan of the series, and I'm grateful he was revived and can still give us some excellent 2D platformers decades later. I'm not sure what's next for him after Superstars. It'll probably take a while to see him get his own game again, but when he does, I hope they learn from what worked and failed here. No matter what, I'll be there. Thanks for watching this video, and take care.